Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back on day 3 of Wild Eye Week with my review of Grave of the Living Dead. Grave of the Living Dead is a 2020 horror anthology film distributed by Wild Eye Releasing. This is more or less a compilation of short films presented as an anthology. There is a wraparound as we witness a corpse dig himself out of a grave and make his way toward the city, we can assume. We see footage of his journey in between each of the segments. The first segment is titled What We Leave Behind. In this one, two sisters plan to clean out their parents' house after they pass. One of the sisters arrives at the house and waits for the other sister to get there. But it gets later and later, and she never comes. As the young woman worries, as she is all alone in the house and it gets darker into the night, it turns out she may not be alone after all. The second segment is titled Crawling Chaos, and this one is based on a short story by H.P. Lovecraft. It's set on Christmas Eve, as a man sits by the Christmas tree, listening to Christmas music and having a drink. His mother calls to check on him, and they end up in a conversation about his medication. It turns out he hasn't taken it in a few days and plans on picking up his prescription the day after Christmas. Unfortunately, he may not even live to see Christmas morning. Next up is Demonic Attachment. A woman named Jennifer has been sick for as long as she can remember. She has seen doctor after doctor and taken test after test, but everything comes back normal. According to the doctors, she's physically healthy. But Jennifer has migraines and insomnia and wakes up at least once a week with a new scratch on her body. After seeing a therapist who is very open-minded, Jennifer learns she may have a demonic attachment. She grew up in Salem, Massachusetts, in a very old house, and chances are that house was haunted. The next segment is titled Stiffed, and it's basically the waitress version of Dexter. A young waitress is quite literally stiffed out of a tip by an arguing couple. That night, she gets her revenge, Dexter Morgan style. It's very bloody and very brutal. The moral of the story is, always tip your servers. If you don't, you too might end up stiffed. I love that double meaning title. Invocation is up next, and we witness a young woman complete an entire blood ritual. The actress is very nice to look at, and there's also a very creepy voice in this segment. Next is Deadly Doll. After moving into a new place, a young woman receives a mysterious package on her doorstep. There is no return address, but she assumes it's from her mom. She opens the package to find a very creepy doll inside. After calling her mother to thank her, she is informed that she's not the one who sent it. As the young woman continues cooking her dinner, strange accidents start happening around the house. She blames the cat, but as we can see as the viewers, it's actually the doll stalking her. The final segment of Grave of the Living Dead is titled Salt and Iron. A drunk fisherman is enticed by a woman in the woods. He follows her deeper and deeper into the forest. Before long, he's surrounded by many more mysterious women. And as they say, you can't live with them, period. In a horror anthology film like this, I'm always anxious to see how they end it. The final segment is usually either the best of the bunch, or it leaves something memorable in your mind. In this case, they saved the segment featuring nudity for last. I'd say that's worth the wait in its own right? You guys know how I feel about horror anthologies. I love them, and I really enjoyed this one. The music is really good. It's very atmospheric. There are some genuinely creepy scenes and unsettling images throughout the segments. For the most part, they were all very effective. The acting isn't all that bad across the board. I mean, some performances were better than others, but that's to be expected. We're treated to a lot of different stories in a very short runtime. The closing credits of Grave of the Living Dead began at just under the hour mark. When I first saw this DVD in my newest box from Wild Eye Releasing, I had no idea it would be a horror anthology. I'm happy it is, though. This one impressed me. Big thank you to Wild Eye for sending me this DVD to review. Have you seen Grave of the Living Dead? If so, what do you think of it? Comment below and let me know. Of course, be sure to check back tomorrow to see what I review on Day 4 of Wild Eye Week. Until then, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and, be kind, subscribe.